Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into the science of something you've probably seen 1,000 times, that little talking head in the corner of an online video. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You're trying to learn something. Maybe it's quantum physics, maybe it's how to bake bread, and there's a little video of the instructor in the corner, talking and gesturing away. But have you ever actually stopped to wonder if they're helping, or are they just getting in the way? I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? For years, educators and designers have gone back and forth on this. Is that little box a key teaching tool that makes the whole thing feel more human? Or is it just, visual clutter that distracts you from what's actually on the slide? Well, to finally get a real answer, researchers didn't just do one more little study. Nope, they went big. I mean, really big? They pulled together a massive meta-analysis that combined, get this, 662, that's right, 662 separate scientific studies, all rolled into one huge analysis in 2024 to find the definitive answer. This isn't just one person's opinion. This is what decades of research really have to say about it. So what did they find? Well, the results all point to this really powerful phenomenon that the researchers decided to call the embodiment effect. And honestly, the conclusion is way clearer than you might think. A huge, resounding yes. The meta-analysis found a really significant positive effect. It turns out having an on-screen instructor who actually uses gestures helps students learn better. It's not a distraction at all. It's a genuine benefit. And that brings us to the official term, the embodiment effect. At its core, it's this simple, powerful finding. There's a measurable boost in learning that happens when a real, physical person is on that screen, embodying the lesson through their movements and gestures. Now, check out this data, because this is where it gets really cool. Students didn't just get better scores on retention tests, the ones that check if you remember facts. They also scored higher on transfer tests, which see if you can take an idea and apply it to a totally new problem. So the big takeaway here is that gestures help you both remember and truly understand the material. But, of course, it's not quite as simple as just slapping a person on the screen. It turns out this whole effect gets a lot stronger under certain conditions. So here's when it really shines. The analysis found that the benefit is biggest when the instructor uses specific gestures, like pointing to highlight something important. It's also way stronger when you, the learner, can control the pace. Pause and rewind whenever you want. Longer lessons seem to benefit more too. And maybe this one's a little obvious, but the effect is most powerful when you compare a gesturing teacher to just a disembodied voice with no person visible at all. And that really gets to the heart of it, right? A static person just sitting there not moving doesn't give you the same boost. It's the dynamic, intentional movement, the pointing, the tracing, the gesturing. That's the secret sauce. It's about active teaching, not just being passively present. Okay, so we know it works, and we know when it works best. But the biggest question is, why? What is actually happening in our brains that makes a simple hand movement so effective? The researchers figured out that gestures are basically working their magic through two totally separate but complementary pathways at the same time. Think of it like a 1-2 punch for better learning. So on one hand, you have the social path. Seeing a person gesturing just feels more human. It builds a kind of social connection, which makes you more engaged and more motivated to learn. Then, on the other hand, you've got the cognitive path. This one's super direct. Gestures, especially pointing, act like a spotlight, literally guiding your eyes to the most important stuff on the screen at exactly the right moment. And they actually proved this. Eye tracking data from some of these studies confirmed it. When an instructor pointed at a formula or a keyword, the fancy term is didactic gestures, learners' eyes just followed along automatically. It's like a natural way to cut through all the noise and tell our brains, hey, pay attention to this. So, what does this all mean for the future of online education? What's the big lesson we can take away from all this? I think this quote sums it up perfectly. The hands don't just talk, they teach. We need to stop thinking of these videos as just narrated slideshows. The instructor's physical presence, their intentional gestures, that's a key part of the teaching, turning passive viewing into a much more active learning experience. So let's circle all the way back to our original question. That person in the corner, are they a bug, a distraction? Absolutely not. The science is crystal clear. When done right, a visible, gesturing instructor isn't a bug in online learning. It's a feature, and a really powerful one at that. And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought. Knowing how much a simple human gesture can improve learning, how else can we design our digital tools and online courses not just to deliver information, but to connect, guide, and teach in a way that feels fundamentally more human? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.